Welcome to 2.5 Brains. It is the weekly Amazing Race recap. It's episode 2 of the Amazing Race, season 31. We're going to talk all about it here. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Our Survivor content, Amazing Race content, so much fun stuff coming at you the next couple weeks. As always, I said subscribe, comment, share the post, tweet me at YoGrabAGabba, and email the show at paperproductions@gmail.com, facebook.com/paperproductions. And this is the second video of the week. Of course, we did a Survivor one earlier in the week, and now this is the Amazing Race one. So definitely check it out, stay tuned, and send us your feedback. Tell us what you think. Usually Mr. B-Back's with me on this show, but this week I have a special guest. She is the co-host of most of the stuff we do here, including the Survivor show, and help me bring in the one and only Miss Jessica Throstic. Welcome to the show.
Hi-ho.
Right, Mr. Hanky. Okay.
No.
All right, so...
Howdy-ho, neighbor.
Howdy-ho, neighbor. Hey-ho. So, tell us, this is your first time being on the Amazing Race
Yes.
one. Tell us about your history of the show.
I've, kind of watched it on and off. Mostly watched last season pretty much fully all the way through. Everything else was kind of here and there. So, not as dedicated as you.
Definitely pretty casual, but you know what? Between you and me as a team, we're definitely better than Rupert and Laura. So
yeah, that's true.
That's not hard to do. All right. Well, let's.
So we're a really bad team still. Then, huh?
I mean, it doesn't matter. That's not saying much. But hey, at least we're better than Rupert and Laura. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Okay.
What's your Twitter handle?
Just T820.
Just T820. So if you're new to this show, what we're gonna talk about the big moments of the episode, which is obviously the U-turn, the detour, and then why the losing team lost, and at the end we'll talk about the players, all the teams, and where they rank, and kind of do a little bit of a power ranking. So, any initial thoughts about the episode or the season so far, Jessica?
I like the first episode. Apparently, I'm getting the first and second mixed up since I watched them both on the same night to catch up. The teams, I'm kind of here or there about most of them. Don't like them all.
For sure, and for sure. But definitely, and we're excited for what's coming up with the the U-turn vote and some of the cool twists that they talk about. They're gonna be a little bit unique.
Right.
The Amazing Race has done that. The Amazing Race is kind of a blank canvas. I feel like it's it's first of all, the fans are so loyal. You can put the show on whenever they'll watch it. They went from last season was some of the biggest ratings they've ever had. They were up to almost 8 million viewers a week, which was crazy. At least over 6. Consistently every week, which they were bringing in around 3 or 4 before that. So a huge jump. And the Amazing Race way, I feel like they can, the game is still the game, but they can always add stuff to it, and it doesn't really make it much different. Like Survivor, you can overdo it with like twists. The Amazing Race, I feel like, it's still, as long as it's still a race, as long as it's still getting one spot to the next, it's still the Amazing Race.
It's based on twists, this whole show, so that's what you're waiting for, is to see what the twist is going to be. So.
And like I said, last season they had more twists than any other season ever, and it had the best ratings. It also had casts of people who were kind of well known.
Famous, a lot of famous people on there. So.
For sure. So that's part of it too. But I think the show, you can kind of do whatever you want with this Amazing Race, and it's still gonna be the Amazing Race. It's still gonna be get the pit stop before everybody else. That kind of thing. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. But so far, two solid episodes again. I'm really happy it's back. And I'm glad that they they used to do it back when in its heyday. They used to kind of do it to 2 a year. Do back-to-back seasons 2 a year. Like Survivor did, and now they're kind of just taking their time, letting it breathe, and giving us one great season a year instead of trying to cram in 2 average seasons.
Kind of feel that it's a better way to go about things. If you start stretching things out and making it not interesting, then people are going to lose interest in it. So you might as well spend the money on one really good season, do some really crazy things, I want to ride an elephant. When are you gonna make that happen for me?
Well, subscribe to the show and comment and get us. Maybe we'll do a Patreon or something, and people can fund the show.
A GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe.
I want to ride an elephant.
Let Jessica ride an elephant.
Yes, please.
So we'll talk all about it here. Let's go ahead and start off with the big part of the episode, which was the U-turn. What would you pick on the U-turn?
I mean, I don't really think they necessarily needed to U-turn people that early. And then, what was it? Team Fun, U-turn, Corey and Tyler. I mean, why? I don't understand why they felt like they had to U-turn somebody just because they were kind of there. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I really agreed with what they did.
I mean, as far as Team Fun goes, they had to survive, so they had to U-turn somebody.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, it did slow them down. It did, but they still, made it before them.
Right. I mean, if you're U-turned, you've got to U-turn somebody else because you've just got to. Because you can't expect to get through both sides and then
Right.
Everybody else doesn't.
Yeah, it's true.
But the ones I blame is obviously Alyssa and Rachel. Why did they do that? I mean,
I don't know. They just felt like they needed to. They did it because they were mad that Team Fun wasn't working with them previously. But I mean, yet again, it's like Survivor. It's a game. You're not gonna help everybody. If you help somebody, they could beat you.
Right.
So why would you do that? But I don't really necessarily know why they U-turned them.
I don't either. I mean, the way I see it too, week 2 is too early U-turn because there's enough bad teams that one of them's gonna lose.
Right.
Right. So.
Right.
Right. We learned this.
Yeah.
So we wasting. I mean, unless they change the rules, you can only do one U-turn a season. So you wasted your one U-turn.
Yeah, it was a complete waste of it.
And as I said, there's you're U-turning somebody, now they're gonna have a vendetta against you. And if they stay in the game, which they did because other teams are bad,
they're definitely gonna U-turn you next.
Right. So you're just putting a target on yourself for no reason. I think it was a bad idea, but Rachel's not known for great ideas, so I guess more of the same. Let's talk about the detour decision.
So who chose what is what you mean?
Yeah. So what were the two options?
Oh, well, the language learning Lao.
Yeah.
Was it Lao? Yeah. And then, the fish, I don't know what we want to call it, like fish tying for barbecue. They had to butcher chickens, scale fish, tie them a certain way, and get it approved by whoever, the grill master, if you want to call it.
Sure.
They had to prove that. I wouldn't have picked the language one. I'm good with languages, but that's a lot harder to learn because that, they didn't know it ahead of time, but that language, everything sounds pretty much the same. When I first heard the kids saying every single, letter, couldn't tell at all. But I would have rather gone for the, barbecuing thing. You work together, one person does one thing, one person does the other, like most of the teams did, and everybody got through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of seemed like in this case, for the most part, the language one wasn't. I mean, the teams seemed to get through it pretty quick, and the teams who got out of it quickly
from what
were
they showed
in the front of the pack, right? But there's always multiple factors going into every decision, right? I mean, first of all, if you're going 30 miles to get to the one and 2 miles to get to the other, if the one's a little bit harder, but it's only 2 miles away, it might be better,
Right.
Also, the way I always look at it, I'd rather do the one that I know is going to take a little bit of time, but is straightforward.
Yes.
Than something that I have to gain a skill to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Or
guess.
gain a, like, for example, like if I have to, if I have to learn how to dance or learn how to sing or something. Right. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. I just remember taking you to dance a lesson once before, and that was fun.
Yeah,
You learned it.
and what did you teach? What did you say it was? You didn't tell me what it was. You just told me it was this thing. And I show up, I'm like, I'm doing what now?
You're polka-ing, honey.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was
you
great.
learned it?
I don't remember it now.
Know it, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, but if it's something where you can just kind of do this, task-oriented things, I think those are usually the best best decisions to go with, because like you said, in this case, you have to tie a fish, you have to do that. Those are things that you can kind of just do. It doesn't take a lot of skill.
Okay.
Whereas, if you have to learn to dance, you have to learn to sing, you have to learn how to do all these things. Well, now you have to, if you're good at those things, great, do it, and you'll excel. Or like there was one, I remember a few seasons ago, there was a Olympic surfer or whatever, and they had a task that was choice between this and surfing. Well, shit, which one do you think they picked? Right. So if it's something that's right up in your wheelhouse, then take it. But for the most part, go with the one that is, in my opinion, go with the one that is just kind of straightforward, and that way, it doesn't take you learning a skill. You don't have to do anything new.
Yeah.
You just do it. It might take a little bit longer, but at least you're going to get it done in a certain amount of time, as opposed to the high risk, high reward of the other type of challenge.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, languages are hard for people. You have to either be really good at understanding other people and their languages, or, you're in trouble. It's different, our language is much different than anybody else, so you have to be able to hear the differences, and it was just slight differences that they had to do. So it was a good job to everybody that got through it.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, I mean, the show kind of showed it, like, the people who went through the languages seemed to get out first, but again, we don't know how close they are to each other. We don't know all those factors, and like I said, I mean, the show is gonna edit it, the way that it's gonna be edited, but at the same time, like I said, if you happen to get lucky or happen to pull off the thing you need to pull off, great. But for the most part, I'd rather do the physically demanding one, or the one that has push this barrel down a hill rather than fill the barrel. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do the thing that is just the dumb straight do this task and you get it, as opposed to learn a skill and do it.
Right.
Because you learn the skill, you could get it quickly and you can be in great shape, or you could take forever and now you're screwed.
Yep.
So I'd rather do the one I know has a bit of a time frame on it, as opposed to the one that could be high or low.
Yeah.
So, but either way, it was a cool choices, and it was nice how it kind of two pretty different things, but both kind of in the same culture. That's what Amazing Race tends to do. They tend to do a lot of that. Even with giving the monks the food, and that was cool.
That was
great.
For
sure. And I love how they do that. I love how they kind of
adapt to the culture they're going to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wish more people would do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyways, so let's go ahead and talk about the ending there, the elephants, and then we'll kind of transition to why the losing team lost.
So don't talk about why the losing team lost.
Well,
I mean, I just want to be on an elephant. That's all I said the whole time when I watched it. I want to ride an elephant.
For sure.
They're awesome.
It was great. It was really neat. They had to, they had to give the elephants commands to go through the water and go through the jungle.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Pie.
Bye.
Yeah,
bye.
No, pie.
It's in the freezer.
Okay. But that was like, and they had to get us to go through the woods and over the water and go to
grandmother's house and go.
Right, to musician playing house we go, and then they pick up the clue and then they have to go back.
Right.
And that was, it's, one thing too you'll notice is there's a lot of luck in the Amazing Race, right? I mean, you get a bad taxi cab driver, you're screwed.
Right.
You get a person who, or you someone with an animal, the animal doesn't cooperate with you, you're screwed.
That was part of the problem.
That was part of the problem.
I mean, you can't control every single part of the show. You can only, part of it is quote unquote surviving. Like, you're in another country, you got to find someone that speaks English to be able to know where you're going. But the rest of it is, it's luck. Yeah.
There's a lot of luck. And there's a lot of, just kind of, there's certain times you take gambles, certain times you don't. But a lot of it is just getting through each leg, getting through, get to the end. Most recently in the seasons, the teams who have just kind of survived have ended up getting the end of winning.
Right.
The teams who are out front dominating have been getting knocked off.
I mean, the name of the game is just don't be last.
Right.
You don't have to be first, but just don't be last.
Right, until the end.
Right.
In the last leg, you be first.
For a while.
Right.
Yeah. But
for sure. And I think that's I remember like it was a handful of seasons ago now. There was every once an episode at least, it seemed like the camera that they're using to film the players in the taxi would drain the battery of the taxi or the car they're driving, whatever it was, and the battery would die in the vehicle. So they had to swap out vehicles once an episode.
Yeah.
And it was I was too, and wait a minute, so your camera knocked out our car, so now we're last and we're getting eliminated.
Right, I'd be furious.
Yeah, so those kinds of things, taxi with a flat tire, that's nothing you can control.
Right.
And it doesn't make you a bad team that hurts you, but
right.
Eliminating mistakes, or limiting them at least, and then doing well in the challenges. You can't, there's plenty of great teams that get knocked out because of bad luck. But it's the best teams are, one, able to limit those mistakes, two, overcome bad luck, and three, just do well in the challenges to the point where they get a lead, and if something falls apart, that's great, and they know when to take the risk.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's talk about why our losing team lost. Why did Rupert and Laura lose?
They got an animal that wouldn't cooperate.
I mean,
Kind of. That's part of it.
on the surface of it, and at the end of the day, yes, that was part of it.
But he also, if he wasn't in control, they asked who likes to be in control, and you have to be probably pretty straightforward with an elephant to get them to cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you have to, harm the elephant, but he was sweet talking the elephant. Please, just please go straight. It didn't work.
Yeah, I don't think the elephant cares. I don't think the elephant cares that you want to win $1 million, Rupert. Yeah. Yeah.
Give you a chill.
Yeah. But I don't think the elephant cares what you think about $1 million. I don't think the elephant cares that you lost Survivor 4 times.
No.
I think the elephant just wants to eat freaking grass and do it, whatever the hell it eats.
Elephant didn't feel bad that you got lost in the park for 2 hours the first season episode.
No. And guess what? It's like one of those things, right? After some episodes, you leave first, and you get to the next task first. You can complete the task and keep your lead. Sometimes you get to the next task and you have to wait for everybody else to catch up, and then you basically start over again.
Yeah.
This was one of those legs. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Who still ended up near the back of the pack? The same team. Mm-hmm. So they started off. They got to the middle of the pack, and then were near the end, near the back of the pack, and were almost eliminated last week. And this week they caught up everybody else because everybody else had to wait for them basically, and they still ended up in the back of the pack. So it's the bottom line is they just weren't good at this. They not in shape.
It's a lot different.
It's a lot different Survivor.
Yeah.
And when you're not good at Survivor either, it's hard to be good at Amazing Race. So I just don't know. To me, I think the biggest thing for me, the reason Rupert and Laura lost, one, they weren't in physical shape to be able to run the race.
Sure.
Two, they didn't really have the right mindset for it because
couldn't adapt.
And three, I mean they're a happy loving couple and all that stuff and good for them, but they just don't communicate well in that type of situation. They're not there's not really like Rupert doesn't take control.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He just he'll be like, we should do this, and Laura's like, well, why don't we do this? He goes, I don't know, do what you want. And it's kind of how it is,
It's like daily life.
Right, but that's how it works on Amazing Race.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get there fast on Amazing Race, and
right.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're older. They're probably the oldest. I'm sure the oldest people on the team, if not Art on the race, if not Art and JJ. Previously, so it's just
they probably were. But
but they're just they're not. There's not a lot, and at the same time, nobody's really trying to help them. Not that they could because they're so far behind. But
even Survivor teams are trying to help.
Right. I mean, they're not made for that type of game.
Yeah.
They're made to sit on an island and talk to people, and
it's completely different.
It's different. Yeah. There's Chris Hammond said it's go, quick decisions, and that's not their type of thing. So I don't know. I think that's why they lost. Mm-hmm. I would say that's a big part of it. I would say they just you could tell from episode 1 that they were just major fish out of water.
Way in over their heads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And luckily for them, they're on the first boot. So congratulations to them.
You made it past the first episode.
So congratulations. And I just as soon as I saw them on the season, I'm like, there's no way in hell they're winning. I hope they don't make complete and total buffoons of themselves. I kind of was hoping they'd last a couple more weeks so I can laugh at them a little bit more.
So you wanted them to actually last a little bit.
A little bit, because I want to laugh at them a couple more times because they're just so incompetent. Mm-hmm.
There's other teams.
But there certainly are, and we're going to talk about those because I think that's a good transition. Why did Rupert and Laura lose? Well, we already talked about that, but who's left and who's going to lose next? Let's talk about the power ranking starting from 9 going up to 1. Who is power ranking team number 9?
Eliza, is it Corinne?
Eliza and Corinne, yeah.
Corinne, sorry. Yeah. Spelled with a C, I was confused.
Yeah, Eliza and Corinne. I have them here. They didn't finish 9th this leg, but they did okay. They haven't really come into their own yet. They did well in a couple of the challenges, but they got passed by 3 teams on Tuk Tuk. Okay, they just they're either entertaining, but they're just not. I don't see them lasting long term. I don't think they'll be out next necessarily, but if you ask me right now to put odds at who's winning, I'd give them the lowest odds at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they I don't know, another one of not adapting well, different game, trying to still figure out things, It's hard to go into another city and figure out how to speak to the people. And if you're not used to trying to do that, you're not going to do well at it.
Right.
Like I worked at a mall. So you get all different types of people and you have to learn how to talk to people. Even where I work, it's international. You have to learn how to understand other people. So it's definitely a disadvantage if you're not able to understand.
For sure. And I think they're in decent physical shape, all that they're good at some of the tasks. I think there'll be things that they definitely thrive at, but I think there's gonna be places that they're not good at either. And I like the team. I do like both of them, but I just think that it's gonna be tough for them to. You said if you said give me odds on who's winning, I just don't see them pulling it off. I'd like to see them again. I like to see them last couple more weeks because I think they'll be fun. I like Corinne, I like Eliza. I love them both on Survivor, but I think they're at the point now where it's like. I just see them gonna struggle, and like I said, every team has something they're good at. They have things that are in their wheelhouse, they're in their niche that they can, make a good showing. And Corinne and Eliza did that on at least one of the tasks, but it just wasn't anything that was too impressive to me. Where I think they're kind of still at the back of the pack, and I wouldn't bet on them to win.
I agree.
What's next?
Britt and Janelle.
Brittany and Janelle, yeah.
Yeah.
Big Brother team. Brittany was definitely a challenge beast on her show. Janelle was pretty good at challenges too. And their friends and their whatever. I don't know. To me, they're kind of invisible to me. I don't really see them doing much. They don't seem to do that. I don't know. There's been 3 all women teams win the race in the history of the show, and I just don't see them being one of them either. I feel like they're kind of there. They're good at certain things, but not good at other things, and I could see them definitely going next. The challenges that are Big Brother are way different than the challenges in the Amazing Race.
Well, yeah.
And it's Big Brother, you have to do it. You have to do tasks in a backyard, right? Or in a house. Whereas Amazing Race, if you're saying the survivors are struggling at this, I feel like the Big Brothers are even worse. To an extent, at least.
Yeah.
But it's just the challenges are a lot different. They're not adapting well again, like you said, adapting to the new different type of thing. And that being said, though, as time goes on, they will get more accustomed to it.
Right.
So perhaps if they survive a few legs, we'll see. And as always, these are never the same power rankings every week. It's not a placement order. It's just hey, how are they doing?
Right.
And so Brittany and Janelle I think are not great, but in 2-3 weeks if they're still there, I can see them being up higher. But for right now, it's just they gotta adapt. They gotta realize what challenges are going to be because the tasks on the Amazing Race are way different than the tasks on any other show. And it's a lot quicker, a lot more fast paced. They said they were complaining about not sleeping because they you have the mandatory rest period for 12 hours, whatever the heck it is. But you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to do all those things in that time, shower, and it's happened before that the team didn't wake up for the alarm when they're supposed to go on and be on the show, and then set the next leg. So I could see the Big Brother team being like, let's hit snooze 12 times and sleep for 15 hours, and then be 3 hours late leaving.
True.
I could see it happening. I don't know. They just seem like they're getting kicked in the ass by the race right now. So we'll see if the race continues to kick their ass or if they get through it. Because I don't know. I can't decide which one's gonna happen. Anything else on Brittany and Janelle?
No, I think you covered it.
All right, let's move on to the next team.
Chris and Brett.
And it hurts me to put them there. It really does. I want them to win. Yeah, Boston and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I really want them to do well. I really, they're a winner pick.
I don't think they're doing that terrible, though. From what I've seen so far, I think they can adapt better than some of the other teams, but some stuff just taking a little bit longer. To be fair, the shoe and the chocolate, that was,
Pretty much straight luck.
Was it?
Pretty much straight luck.
Yeah, you can't see them. You're not up close enough to actually see what it is, so that, is more difficult. He did pretty good with the elephant thing.
Yeah.
Compared to other people, but I don't know. I think they could probably pull it off.
Like I said last week, Chris is a freaking tank. Have him pick up the other teams and throw them, he'll do great.
Hulk?
Yeah, he is a freaking colossal, animal. Brett is kind of the more finesse, I guess. Where Chris is the plow horse and Brett's more the driver. I feel like they have a good dynamic. They don't ever fight or argue. So
it's better to be that way than to fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think they have the physicality. I just wonder if they have the finesse or they have the other intangibles that they're gonna need. But it's that physical challenges. They're gonna be just fine. So we'll see. Again, I don't see them going next, but they haven't come out of the gates on fire. So we'll see how quickly it takes them again to adapt to the Amazing Race. And if they can adapt quickly, I think they'll be. Again, they have the strength. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see. What's next?
Team Fun.
Team Fun. BUX winner pick. I put them here because they survived both U-turns.
They did.
They were low, on the finishing. They didn't finish, near the top. They were definitely near the bottom.
They were close to last.
Close to last.
The end, yeah.
For sure. But they did survive. And, it's not easy to do one task and get, finish, complete the race, alone two. So, granted, the team they've beat was freaking disaster. But they survived. So I think they have the youthful exuberance, they have a positive attitude. Those things will carry them a long way.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say about them? Anything?
No, they're entertaining. They're fun.
They're team fun for sure. So again, and I appreciate filling in here for us here. And again, you're welcome to be on the show whenever. We'll see. Next week what our schedules hold. Because right now the biggest concern with the Survivor and the Amazing Race is that they're on back to back, and we have to find times to record all this stuff. So definitely, as we get more into the season, definitely see if you are on more. You can kind of have your own hot takes about all these teams, and maybe even come up with your own theory on who's gonna win.
I mean, you're missing the two brains whenever you do this one.
For sure, so it's
really
tough.
Difficult. Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah. Who's next? What number are they to?
5.
Number 5. Yep.
Rachel and is it Alyssa?
Rachel and Alyssa. Yeah.
It's spelled interesting.
Yeah. It spells an E. Amazing Race is supposed to be fun and good. I don't know.
I mean, you can't say they're not doing. They're in the middle almost of the pack.
I mean, that's why I have them 5th, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so tough
so
though.
hard to watch.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, I know. I mean, yeah. I mean,
but I could have said the same thing about Corey and Eliza for me.
Corinne and Eliza?
Corinne and Eliza. That's it. Yes.
Yeah. The way I'm thinking about that, I mean, they had them as a Big Brother team because those two play Big Brother, but Rachel's a Big Brother winner, and she went to the final 3 of Amazing Race twice, so it's not like she's not familiar, right? You'll notice the teams who are in this spot are the teams who are familiar with Amazing Race.
Right.
The top 5 teams in this are basically teams who are Amazing Race alums, or they know what they're doing.
It's kind of interesting though to see people that were like, if she was on the Amazing Race, they had such a hard time with the languages though. It's like finding people. I know a lot of stuff I'm probably bringing up is from the first episode too. Is just they couldn't find anybody that spoke Japanese to find anything. So if you've been through this before, you were definitely on other countries when you were on the Amazing Race. You think you'd just be able to, I don't know, put more effort into it. I kind of feel like they were waiting for other people to help them.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. I feel like if they're trying to just flirt their way to the end, I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Rachel got to the end twice, though. So, and granted, Brendan was a big part of it, the reason she got there. But
was she? She keeps saying how horrible it was, and they were on there together. They always fought.
Well, Rachel's a freaking nutcase, so that's part of it. But I mean, Brendan's an idiot, so nutcase and an idiot. God bless their children. So I don't know. I have them here because I don't really know where else to put them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I feel like Rachel knows the Amazing Race. Melissa's trying to keep her together, and I feel like Alyssa's a little more positive. Where Brendan's like, Rachel, come on, and she's like, shut up.
Is that what I sound like?
No,
okay.
No. But Brendan's like, come on, Rachel.
Shut up.
And she's like, shut up. It's like, come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I feel like. I feel like the Brenchels are the freaking Ken and Barbie. I don't know. I'm so over Brenchel as much as I'm over Rupert and Laura.
Okay.
So the fact that we have half of the Brenchels is great because it's just we'll see if it's going to continue to be as much of a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Alyssa is trying to keep her on track. Hopefully, for their sake, they do. Hopefully, for the sake of our television, they don't, because they're entertaining when they're a mess.
Yeah.
But again, I don't really know where to put them because they've been doing fine. They're in middle of the pack, and I kind of feel like that's kind of where they belong right now.
Yeah.
They haven't impressed me, but they also haven't been like a disaster. So, I feel like they have way more potential to be a disaster than be amazing. But
like the Amazing Race. When I kept saying it was so amazing on the elephants, you're like, yeah, the Amazing Race.
Amazing, it's Amazing Race. Yeah, that's why it's called Amazing Race because it's amazing. So what's next? What's team 4?
Nick and Vic.
Nick and Vic.
I feel like they would be my winner picks. I like them.
You said that last episode. Episode 2, you were saying how much you liked them. You said that you thought they could do well.
I do. I think they work really well together. I mean, for being a couple and stuff, they don't really fight. They get along really well. I think they complement each other, especially with the challenges, I think they have, a strong bond, strong power couple. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Except that Vic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vic's
Victor?
the girl. Victor. Oh, Nikki, Nicole, right?
Yes.
I'm going to confuse that.
Yeah. Well, because there's a Vic on Survivor.
Yes.
And it's a girl, Nicole.
Yes.
Victoria.
Nick, got distracted when they were trying to tell him they're going the wrong way. You just gotta not listen to other people.
Yeah.
They're not really trying to help you. They're not going to tell you you're going the wrong way when, you really are. They're going to let you go the wrong way.
For sure.
But I really like them.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough, right? I mean, they're one of the teams up here who has not played Amazing Race before. They're new to this, and they're getting by so far. I have been impressed with how they've picked up the stuff and kind of run with it. I've said before. I said Victor last week. He ate 41 freaking shoes before he found the chocolate.
Ow.
Right? His teeth were freaking killing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're right. He played Big Brother and lost, where Nicole played Big Brother and won. So I feel like Nicole is more of the gamer, the strategist, more of the decision maker. Where Victor is the muscle. And I feel like, like I said, but if you look at Jessica and what's the face last season. I don't even remember the name.
I don't remember.
The winner's the last season, right?
Oh, right. I don't remember his name.
He
from Big Brother.
Right. He carried them. He carried that team, and she made a couple of decisions here and there, and they won. So I could see. I mean, Victor's not as much of a freaking monster as that dude was.
No, but he can hold his own. And I would rather have one that is more of the decision maker and one that is willing to go along with it and put in the muscle, then you're going to bicker about the decision, and then you're just wasting time doing that.
The last thing was Victor and Nick, they're bickering. But I feel like, I feel like that's if Victor can just know his role, know his place, and shut his damn mouth, as The Rock would say. If you just know to not speak and not try to think because he's gonna hurt himself, and let Nicole do all the thinking, and he just does what she says to do, I think they'd be much more successful. If he tries to be like, well, why don't we do this? I think they're gonna fall apart. So let her think, and then you just do all the work. I think that's a perfect relationship.
I think that's a great relationship.
Sure, especially for that couple because they need that. Because he's not smart and she's not physical. So the two of them together, if they use their strengths, they'll be great.
Yeah.
What's next? Who's next? Who's number 3?
Tyler and Corey.
Yeah, they got a dull U-turn. They've still finished ahead of more than half the team.
They did great, yeah. But the language one they got through quickly, and that was good for them. I mean, they went back a couple times and killed it.
They are certainly artsy. Anything with that nuanced stuff, like music, art. They even the last season they were good at it. The thing is though, Corey is relatively physical. He's pretty athletic. Tyler's not as much. Right. Tyler's definitely more of the flamboyant character, but Corey, I mean, and even the first season, they had things that, and like I said, this, I mean, they I was telling you while we were watching. It seems like every challenge, they know somebody who did it. They have a freaking cousin who is professional, or they do it themselves.
Right.
Like everything. They're.
That's a perfect kind of person then to go on and go show like this.
Sure.
They've experienced and done it all, so.
They won what? They won like 5 legs their first season, 4 or 5 legs, and last season they had one bad leg. Their first season, it was the last leg, and they finished third out of the final 3. But they were dominant the first season.
Yeah.
They were absolutely dominant. They were goofballs, but like they didn't take the race seriously. They didn't ever fight, and it was just and really none of these teams who are on there now fought the first season. But they just to me they are really the team to beat. I mean, they're not my number 1 ranked because they had things happen, but
right.
They're never
definitely top. They're definitely up there
for sure. They never get bad luck. They never fight. Things just go.
Just putting that out there for them then.
For sure, and they seem to have everything. Every Talent's Amazing Race shows at them that they somehow know somebody who taught them it, or they have a relative who showed them how to do it, or just something.
So they had a relative that showed them how to pick sandals that were chocolate to see which are which.
I mean, they probably practice that at home.
They probably have someone that makes cakes or chocolates or something like that.
So. And they can see they out of shoes, yes, and they can see what a shoe tastes like.
I mean, to be fair, it was easy to tell when they brought the shoes up closer which one was which.
Right. It's just for sure. It's just
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I know.
So I don't know. They're a really impressive team. And if you said obviously I picked Brett and Chris from the beginning, but if you ask me right now who I think's gonna win, I think it's maybe those two. I mean, the team that won the last All-Star season won a bunch of legs and then got injured and had to be pulled from the race.
Yeah.
Then they went back on an All-Star team and they crushed it. The All-Star season, and they won, and it was not even close. They dominated the whole season.
Yeah.
I can see these guys doing that because they've had really in their entire Amazing Race time they've had one bad leg, and it was the final leg last time. So unless something goes catastrophic for them, I don't see why they don't get back there again and get another shot at it. So, who do we have as number 2?
Christy and Colin.
They were my number 1 last week, and they're still good. They're still in a good spot. They're zen. They're chill,
relaxing. I enjoy that with the show. You need one couple that's not going crazy all the time. Not that everybody is, but they're just very calm about everything and try to keep everybody else calm.
Should have seen the first season. They were not at all that.
I like the calmness. You've inspired me to do yoga again. Thank you.
Cool. And they're doing well. They got a lot of good things going for them, like I said, and I like to see where they can go. At this point, they're physically fit. They are calm. They work well together. All those things. So I'm expecting big things out of them. And for number 1,
Afghanimals.
Team of the week, the Afghanimals.
I mean, honestly, I would see them winning, but they're doing so well now. Something's gonna crumble at some point, probably. Maybe.
I mean, I said there's some teams. The last few seasons, the teams who have dominated a lot just haven't finished. Right? They haven't been able to get to the end. They haven't been able to get to the final 3 and to get that last win.
Right.
It's been that way for really the last 4 or 5 seasons. The team who's been out in front the whole time hasn't been able to complete it.
Right.
The Afghanimals have won 2 legs in a row though, so I mean.
Yeah, they've definitely dominated.
They have. If something's gonna go wrong, they have a long way to fall.
I mean, to be fair, though, the only reason they got first this time was the deception, and Nick and Vic. Bless you.
Thank you.
Nick believed them and paused. Otherwise, they would have been second.
Yeah. So, again, they are gamers. They know how to play the game. They know how to be strategic. They've played twice already.
Yeah.
So they definitely have the experience too. I feel like they're not. I can see them winning, but I also can see them having something major go wrong and they fall from first to last.
True. Right.
It wouldn't shock me, but. At this point, I think you can't argue the fact that they've won the first 2 legs. They're not. You can't put it anywhere other than first on the power rankings. So, Team of the week right now, definitely Leo and Jamal. So I think that's it. I think that's really all we had to really talk about for this show. Went a little longer than we expected, but
definitely talk a lot.
definitely went a little longer than we expected. But anything to wrap up with here for Jessica before we call it a night? Anything you want to say?
I mean, we talked a lot, but I think it's going to be a good, season. I think I'll definitely continue to watch and probably be on if I'm welcome.
You're certainly
Because
welcome.
you kind of need two brains, the 2.5 brains here. You guys are missing me, I know.
For sure. So yeah, we got the star of the show always sings during her show. So we've got to I gotta have her you on as much as possible. So we'll see how things go. Definitely look forward to the season. Definitely look forward to our schedule. Trying to get all these shows out to you as quickly as possible. And definitely appreciate the continuous support from not only you but also from the viewers. What's your Twitter handle again?
Just T820.
And tell her you love her. Tell you want her on the show. Keep her coming.
Yeah.
You
I know.
tweet at me at YoGrabAGabba. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Paper Productions. Email the show. Tell us what you think. PaperProductions@gmail.com. Subscribe, comment,
Subscribe.
share it.
Please.
Tell your friends.
We're funny. I'm funny.
She's
Sometimes
funny.
he's funny.
I'm funny
I'm
looking.
usually funny.
She's the funny one. I'm the funny looking one. She's the two brains. I'm the half brain.
Just don't tell him he talks too much. It's okay.
Tell me I talk too much. Come at me.
No, you want people to watch, and then they'll figure it out.
Okay, great. Tell them there's a win bag. He doesn't shut up. You can comment away and tell him how stupid he is. So there you go. So that's it. I think that's a good place to end on that happy note. Definitely check back next week and stay in tune because I'm pumped for where we're going with this. Pumped for the season and can't wait to see what comes next. Anything else, Jessica?
That's it.
All right. So I believe until next time, safe travels.